Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. GEICO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
The entertainment value was high as the Cowboys started the second half of the season Sunday night against the Minnesota Vikings. The result was disappointing if you're a Cowboys fan. Thanks for joining us on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham, Babe Laufenberg. Cowboys fall to the Minnesota Vikings 28-24. It started real bad and it ended real bad. In between, there was a lot of very interesting stuff, but I know everyone will talk about the play selection on the next to the last possession when it looked like they were going to go 94 and score. But, you know, you also can't start trailing 14-0 to a team like this, can you?
Yeah, that was a big thing. They fell behind early, and we've seen this team do that a lot this year, but we've also seen them climb back into it. But when they had the football, 2nd and 2 inside the 20, I just thought, okay, as you did, how much time are they going to leave on the clock for Minnesota? And obviously, it ended up 2nd and 2, went to 3rd and 5, went to an incompletion, and just a very disappointing loss. But like you said, Brad, about the entertainment value of this one, I often say, if you didn't have a dog in the fight, you would have said that's a real good football game to watch. Unfortunately, the guys in that locker room had a dog in the fight.
They sure did. Let's hear some of the post-game thoughts from Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Jason.
Good. Can you talk about that last sequence there when you guys got down in there inside the 15 and kind of what the thought process was with some of those calls?
Yeah, obviously we're trying to score a touchdown, and we got into I think it was a 2nd and short situation, and we tried to run it a couple times just to get the first down, and they did a good job defending those runs, and got to a 4th down situation, just weren't able to convert it.
What were you trying to get on the 4th down play?
You know, I don't want to go into all the details of the play, but there are a number of different options on that play based on what they play. And if they heat you up, you have some answers. If they play certain kinds of zone, you have some answers. If they play man-to-man, you have some answers. So we wanted to give, you know, Dak some different options depending on what they were going to play in a critical down situation.
Where do you think the game was lost?
It was a hard-fought game between two good football teams. You know, you look at it, I think we had 9 possessions. They had 9 possessions. We battled back and forth. Number of lead changes throughout the game. They did a good job at the outset of the game going ahead, but we battled back, tied the score. They went ahead. We went ahead. You know, it was just back and forth. And, you know, they did a good job in the second half running the football. They had a lot of plays in the 3rd quarter of the ball game where they were able to run it and convert 3rd downs and keep drives alive. And, you know, we had our opportunities were fewer and far between in that part of the game. But again, I thought we did a really good job coming right back. We made some stops. We had a great opportunity at the end of the ball game to go win it.
What did they do to slow Zeke in your running game down?
Obviously, there was a lot of attention there. They have a really good front, and they have good linebackers. They're a good run defense. And, you know, they were trying to, you know, make sure that they stopped the run. And, you know, I thought we did a good job responding to that. We were pretty effective throwing the football. Dak really played well, made a lot of really good decisions throughout. I thought our offensive line did a good job pass protecting against a good front. And, again, consistently able to move the ball through the air. Amari was big time. Randall Cobb was big time. Dak made a number of big throws in critical moments. And, again, we had a great opportunity at the end of the ball game to go down there and win it. And unfortunately, we weren't able to convert that last drive.
Was the 3rd down play an RPO? And for that was the one where he pitched to Zeke?
One that he pitched to Zeke?
I can't remember now. But
yeah, we tried to hand it to Zeke on a couple of those, and you know, I don't want to go into the details of what the plays are, but unfortunately we weren't able to convert on that when we got into that 4th down situation.
That's Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett. We'll hear from quarterback Dak Prescott when Babe and I continue when the Dallas postgame show returns.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
Welcome back to the Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg at AT&T Stadium, where the Minnesota Vikings defeated the Cowboys 28-24 Sunday night. And it was a game where the Cowboys fell behind 14-0, only led once at 21-20 in the third quarter. And the reason they rallied back and the reason they almost won was a rather remarkable passing night by Dak Prescott and the work of several of his receivers.
Yeah, all three of them. Gallup, Cobb, and Cooper, just fantastic tonight. 9 of 15 on third down against the Minnesota defense that has traditionally been extremely tough to convert third down on. So I hate to say there were a lot of good things. I sound like a coach trying to make excuses, but again, you can't say it enough. You can't go down 14-0 to a good football team, and that's what happened. Because once that happens, everything's got to go your way after that. And obviously that last possession, or second to the last possession, did not go their way.
Let's hear some of the post-game thoughts of Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott.
Dak, how hard is this one to handle when you're so close there at the end?
Yeah, it's frustrating. Definitely frustrating, but as you said, had a chance, had an opportunity right there at the end. As a quarterback, can't ask for more, right? Ball in your hands. Fourth down, chance to make it throw to win the game, and they made a great play. They made more plays than we did when it counted and beat us situationally.
I don't know. You talking about the fourth down call, but how about the second and third down calls? You went 2 straight runs, and you guys had it going so well with the passing game. Did they kind of take the ball out of your hands there?
You got to go back and look at the situation, right? You don't want to leave too much time on the clock for them. So I'm not going to question the play calling. There were opportunities. We've just got to do better and execute those plays. Simple as that. And every guy in that locker room would say that.
Did they do anything defensively you weren't expecting?
Not at all. They're a defense that's confident in who they are, confidence in the front four getting the job done and playing shell, and that's what they did all night long, sprinkled in the single high, and everything that they've done all year long was nothing surprising.
How'd they slow down Zeke?
One more time?
How'd they slow down Zeke?
Yeah, I hand it off right and bootleg out. I've got to go back and look at film. I don't have those answers for you.
Dak, we've seen consistently this team's had trouble with slow starts. What was it tonight? What was different about it tonight, falling behind 14-0?
Yeah, we were down 14-0. We came back. We came back and gave ourselves a chance. 14-14. It's a 0-0 ball game at that point. Slow start or not, we've got to stop doing that. But we got over that, right? We overcame that, and as I said, gave ourselves an opportunity.
Could you talk about Amari's play tonight? Going into the game, it looked like there might be some opportunities, but he was excellent.
One more time?
Amari.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It looked like going into the game with their secondary, you might have a chance to exploit it, but for him, it was exceptional.
Yeah, did a great job. He did what Amari Cooper does, right? Take advantage of his opportunities, threw him the ball, made some unbelievable sideline catches all night long. Just showed up. Does what he's done his whole career and his time here at the Cowboys.
There were several times where you guys were in 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 14s, and you were able to convert. What was working there for you guys?
Yeah, just great play calling, being able to get back. Offensive line did a great job protecting, just went through the reads and trusted it and let it rip. And guys continuously made plays, and we did well.
Those are some of the thoughts of Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. The numbers were gaudy, but the result was not what anybody wanted. Dave and I will have more from AT&T Stadium when the Cowboys postgame show continues.
This segment was brought to you by Texas Motor. Play the Dallas Cowboys Scratch Ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big. This segment is brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the Cowboys postgame show at AT&T Stadium. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg. 28-24 Minnesota, the final score. But a tremendous night from the Cowboys wide receivers, Randall, Cobb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Randall Cobb has had plenty of battles with the Minnesota Vikings in your NFL career. That was maybe one of the Packers' biggest rivals.
Definitely.
So you know a little bit about them. If I had given you the statistics that you and Amari and Michael Gallup had tonight, if I'd given you those numbers before the game, would you have said, oh, well, if that's what's going to happen, we're going to win this game?
Oh, definitely. Anytime you're going to have 3 receivers play as well as we did tonight and be able to pick up big gains, have big plays across the board, you would think that would end in a win. But unfortunately, we didn't make the plays when we had the opportunity or down the stretch, and we didn't quite execute in the end.
We were discussing on the broadcast, you guys caught everything thrown your way, and then you caught some balls that you shouldn't have caught. It was about as good a receiving night in terms of just catching the football as I've seen. Could you feel that on the field as well?
Yeah, I think it was just the energy of the game, kind of the flow. I finally felt like I was in the zone for once this season, which was nice. And we kind of feed off each other. When I see Coop make a play, I want to go out there and get one, and Gallup feels the same way. And we mesh really well together. We're just trying to continue to find ways to get wins for our team.
And we talked a couple weeks ago. We said, hey, they got to let you throw the ball one time. And I know you've had that play in there.
Yeah.
When did you know it would be called? Like, did they tell you during the week?
No, I mean we've had it in the plan for probably the past 6 or 7 weeks, and Minnesota sniffed it out. It was no chance. So I just threw it away. But yeah, that was fun.
We also talked about, you had to think when they called that play, oh, here it comes, right? Here comes that touchdown, and they'll be showing it over and over again. It'll be on Twitter. I'll be trending, and then you come up and they're just laying back. So. Yeah, I know there's a party that said, should I just try to fit this in?
Definitely would love to have completed that and scored, but that didn't happen. I can't remember if we scored or not on that drive, but
I believe you did, yeah.
That's the main point for us is finding a way to get the ball in the end zone. We're getting the red zone.
Coop made, I think, 3 ridiculous plays. I don't know how he kept his feet in bounds and held onto the ball. And you equaled it with that fingertip touchdown catch. Can you walk us through that? What did you see?
Well, we had a play called, and I saw one of the defensive linemen jump off sides. And we snapped the ball, so I knew it was a free play. So I kind of cut off my route and went on a go route, and Dak was able to find me. And I just saw the ball in the air and tried to continue to catch up to it and make a play on it, and luckily I was able to come down with it.
Hard for us not to notice in the last series, not the last possession, but the second to the last one, you 3 guys with the hot hands, and then there were a couple of runs and a pass to Zeke. Were there options? Did they do anything different to defend you on that last possession?
I don't believe so, looking back on it. They did bring an all-out pressure a few times throughout that game, and that's something that we were kind of in tune for. We knew it was going to happen in certain situations, and I think our offensive line picked it up well, and we were able to convert on a couple of them. So I don't think it was anything out of the norm. It just comes down to execution. In those moments and crucial moments in big games like this, you want to execute.
And so the process of putting a disappointing loss behind you in a hurry happens almost immediately, right? Because you got to get right back on the horse.
You do. It's right back to work. Tomorrow we'll come in, we'll watch the film, we'll go through corrections, and we'll move on. It's on to the next week and finding a way to win a game.
All right, it was fun watching you tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
There's Randall Cobb. Cowboys post-game show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to AT&T Stadium. It's the Cowboys postgame show. Brad, Sham, and Babe Laufenberg, 28-24 Minnesota, the final. Cowboys nose tackle Antwaun Woods joins us. This was a game where both units on your team had periods where things didn't go very well, periods where things went very well. In the last analysis, I'm going to guess that on your side of the ball, you guys would say we need to play better. What was the big issue in your judgment tonight?
I think all around, when you give up 28 points, I think that's just not a good day by defense. I think we started slow. I think they had 14-0 quick. First quarter was the first quarter.
Yep.
So I just think that wasn't good complementary football, and we just didn't start off well. We fought really hard, but at the end of the day, we didn't execute good enough.
What did you do differently when you fought back? Because then they punted 2 straight possessions. You got them off the field. What were you doing differently then?
It was just locking in on our hits and fits and making sure we played well, including myself. I started a little rusty off in the beginning, making sure, everybody got their assignment and getting their gaps, but just didn't make enough plays and didn't execute well enough.
You guys picked up where you left off last week against Saquon Barkley in the first half, but then the second half, Dalvin Cook really got the running game going. So did they change up anything in their blocking scheme, or were they just executing better?
They really didn't, honestly. I mean, it comes down to inches, certain plays, all 11 being in the right fit, one-gap defense. So, I mean, it ain't perfect. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. So, we're going to just learn from it and continue to get better.
And when you look at it too, they did a good job in the passing game in the secondary for the most part. They didn't give up the big plays, which Minnesota has been very good at getting.
Yeah.
The one thing that hurt you too was the screen. So obviously you knew coming in they were going to screen the ball. Why were they so effective doing it?
I mean, every team screens us. Just from our system of football, we're upfield penetrating defense, and we like to get up to the quarterback. Just the answer to that screen. So. I mean, you know, every team, we got to deal with that every single week. The lineman has to run and catch up. So we got to just do a better job.
So I know this is a disappointing game because it's a measuring stick against a team that was very much like you. Similar record, similar strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So what do you, never mind what everybody says publicly, when you sit together and look at each other, you've got almost half a season to play. Yeah. What do you tell yourselves to say, okay, that's not who we are, but we're running out of time to prove it?
I mean, it is what it is. We can't let ourselves run out of time. I mean, I'm pretty sure we still control our own destiny and all that good stuff. It's still early, still at the halfway point. We just got to lock in and just do what we're capable of and play our style of football.
And you talk about controlling your own destiny. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of noise on the outside about this football team, and you know that's coming. Yeah. But you look back at it, and as a team, you come in and you say, okay, we're 5-4. Philly's 5-4. We're basically starting the season dead even again. So is that the way you look at it?
I mean, honestly, we really don't care what Philly is, and the record and all that stuff is good. We just focus on, you know, what we need to do to win each game at a time. So. This game is over. I got a 24-hour rule. So we'll see who we play next. Who do we play next? I don't know.
Detroit.
Do you really not know?
Huh?
You really don't know?
No, I focus one game at a time. I got to put this game away in 24 hours, and then I'll see who we play next.
And will you be able to by, like, tomorrow afternoon? Will you take the full 24?
Yeah, full 24. So it's football, it's NFL, professional football. Sometimes you get the Bears, sometimes you get you. Sometimes the Bears get you. You can't win them all.
Well, and you have Detroit next, and we won't tell you that you got to go to New England the week after that. Let's just focus on this week.
No, I know.
We're not going to even say that.
At the end of the day, it's just another football game.
There we go.
So we're good.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate the time. Thank you. Antwaun Woods, Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Reliant, an NRG company. U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Choose VA today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Welcome back to AT&T Stadium. It's the Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham, Laufenberg, and what Antwaun Woods said is right. Sometimes you get the bear. Sometimes the bear gets you. As producer Chris Beam pointed out, the Bears are in December. It's really the Lions they need to be thinking about next. But
Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Oh, my. But there's a very fine line they're walking between, well, there's half a season, and they do control their own destiny. Yeah. But they're also running out of time and wiggle room, don't you think?
Yeah, and this would have been, I don't want to call it a signature win, but it would have been a really good win because Minnesota, as we know, was a really good football team. Just can't say it enough. You can't fall behind 14-0 and expect to come back and beat a good football team. That's what they did. They had a couple of opportunities. Remember, they could have tied it, the possession, before they didn't make it on fourth down because they had, Witten back there and the ball gets knocked down. They have to kick a field goal, but they could have got it tied up with a touchdown right there.
Disappointing Sunday night sees the Cowboys record fall to 5-4. And as some other coaches would say, we're on to Detroit. And that's where Babe and I will talk to you on the post-game show next Sunday after the Cowboys take on the Lions in Detroit, Michigan.